I'd like to say, first of all, that life is better in 3D. We all live life in 3D, actually, every day. But for the most part, we are here to talk about 3D printing. And I'm not 100% sure, just by a show of hands, could we tell, is how many people here have seen a 3D printer in action before they got here today?
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. So on behalf of Mojo Coworking and the Van Winkle Law Firm and 3D Systems, we'd like to welcome you to our event today. The way it's going to flow is pretty simple. We're going to talk a little bit about 3D printing and then talk a little bit about, introduce the folks from Van Winkle as well as from 3D Systems. And then I'm going to come back and talk about how the Mojo Van Winkle 3D Innovation Lab will work here in Asheville as far as being available to the public. And then after that we can have any questions or anything like that we need. So just to begin, Mojo Coworking, if you're not familiar with this space, it's a co-working space. And we are a creative workspace where anybody in the Asheville community can plug into social, creative, and entrepreneurial energy. If you haven't been upstairs when you're on your way out or whatever, you can take a look around. There's about 20 or 30 businesses who have their business operations here, and they have access to all of this utilization of the internet and conference room areas and whatnot. So Mojo Coworking worked with Van Winkle Law Firm to put together the Mojo Van Winkle 3D Innovation Lab, which we'll be talking about today. Another thing that's really important is that during President Obama's inaugural or State of the Union speech this year, he actually said that 3D printing has the potential to revolutionize the way we make almost anything, and that the next industrial revolution will happen in America, and we can get that done. So there's a big push behind 3D printing. It's really the leading edge of all of the next wave of technology in our country, and it's such a vast open field that by playing with technology now through things like the 3D printers we have here, and you will be the ones who are learning the technology from the very ground up, like people learned the internet and like people learned PC coding throughout the years, decades. And this is going to be possible for young children, as young as elementary school and middle school, all the way up through the more serious design-based applications for 3D printing. And so what I'd like to do is just play a quick video of the 3D Cube. This is one of the printers that we have. I'll give you a quick overview of the process, and then I'll have another one for the Cube X, which is the slightly larger and more professional version. Has 3D printers, a bunch of 3D kits out there, but the Cube, being that it's all-in-one and very kind of enclosed and a nice little snap-on filament reel, that it seems to be the one that's kind of like the workhorse. It does 5 by 5 by 5, and you can have any number of colors, and they're all over there. The Cube X comes in the Cube X, the Cube X Duo, and the Cube X Trio, which means you can put one color, two colors, or three colors all at the same time, and it will access whichever color the design is programmed to layer on or to add different colors. So a quick video of the Cube X. Duo that we have is that we'll do two colors, and it also will do approximately 9.5 by 9.5 by 9.5. So you can really make a prototype or a design of something quite large. That's a little bit of the upfront. What I'm going to do now is introduce Brian from Van Winkle Law Firm and to say a few words.
Thank you so much. Good morning. I'm Brian Johnson. I'm a patent and trademark attorney at the Van Winkle Law Firm here in Asheville. We are in the business of concepts, new concepts, bringing people's thoughts to paper and then to prototype and onto production, but also protecting them. So the theme and our slogan for this whole venture is, what will you make? But it's more than just what will you make as in the item, but what will you make of your idea? Because we all have them, just most of us never really do a whole lot with them. But now we have a whole new venture that can help us take our idea to a different step. So this is really, it's really disruptive technology, as they like to say in the business today. Just like the internet was 20 years ago, things change. The world is different when we disrupt the normal sequence of how we use information. And this is what we're doing now. We're disrupting the design sequence, where we used to go from my idea to a drawing, maybe a prototype, and then on to build it. We can put a whole new level of creativity in that series of events. Because now you can go, you don't have to rely on the drawing. We call it 3D printing, but it's more than just printing. It's coming to fruition of a concept. So we want everybody to look at this as a chance to make your concepts real. It's more tangible than a drawing. So we invite you to look at these models that have been created and just to be excited about what you might bring and what your friends and colleagues in your business and their business might be able to do with this. Because Asheville's full of great ideas. I mean, we're a patent group in Asheville. David Carter and Steve Stedler are here. They were the only patent and trademark attorneys in this town for 20 or 25 years. And then they let me join, and it's a whole new model of how companies are doing business in this area. It's not just let's go hiking and let's go out to eat at really great restaurants in Asheville anymore. It's also, what are people going to do with this creativity? And this area sparks the best creativity in the country, if you ask me. So we take this moment. Van Winkle is really proud to be a part of this. We welcome you to the Starship Enterprise. I don't know where we're going to end up, but this is a great day for our firm and a great day for Asheville to be able to be a part of something really new that universities might have already, but it's the first publicly available modeling and 3D printing lab in Western North Carolina. So welcome. We hope you enjoy the models, the films, and the everything we've got going on today. Appreciate it.
Thank you. Speaking of models and universities, Clemson University has been using our space over the last couple of years. Doug Hecker is an architecture professor there, and he has graciously brought in a number of models that you see over on those tables. Those are just kind of shape explorations about for the architecture students at Clemson, and so there's some interesting design explorations and some things like that. And you can feel free to talk to Doug afterward about how they're using it. But I believe the mandate of the university is get 3D printing incorporated into the curriculum.
Yeah, we're looking at, right now we're actually shifting. Those are really about low-cost printing and prototyping, looking at your diagram. But the next step in that is moving to additive manufacturing, doing things at full scale, at the scale of architecture.
So actually building houses in 3D printing and actual building things with 3D printing. So what I'd also like to do now is to bring up Adam Reichenthal from 3D Systems from Rock Hill, South Carolina / Charlotte. And he's come driven this morning with a couple of cups of coffee and ready to give a quick overview. And I'm going to switch over to his.
So really briefly, guys, let me just start by introducing myself. I'm Adam Reichenthal. I'm 3D Systems. And first off, it's an honor to be here. 3D Systems started in a garage and has encouraged entrepreneurship essentially for the last 30 years as well. Our founder, or rather our co-founder, Chuck Hall, invented 3D printing in '86 in his garage simply because he had the idea that if I could control where plastic flowed, I would be able to create something incredible and repeatable. And fortunately for us, through all the legwork that he did back then, he inspired and sparked innovation. And now, 3D Systems goes ahead and prints in over 100 different materials and 7 different technologies. We're in 40 states as well as 15 countries. We sell globally, and we're the largest 3D printing company. Now, essentially, we absolutely support both entrepreneurship, protecting IP. We have more patents than employees at this point, which means we could probably, which means we're huge on innovation. We probably have more patents than we have an opportunity to work with and do more with. So, what is it about 3D Systems that allows us to work with you guys? And essentially, the theme is simplicity. You know, we've had industrial machines and still do. We have printers that go from $12.99 all the way up to $1 million with 36 price points in between. But as someone that's never heard of 3D printing or heard about it 2 minutes ago or just discovered it yesterday, what do I do? How do I get started? And as a guy whose engineering background is in Legos, I can tell you that the Cube, as well as Cubify.com and everything else, is a great way to get started. You know, from the first time you use the Cube, you take it out of the box, you plug it in, and in less than 10 minutes, you can be already starting with your first print without having any background in 3D design, any understanding of how the technology works. I can hit 2 buttons, therefore I can print. And we wanted to democratize incredible technology and bring it to everyone, because if it's simply for the $1 million users, there's no opportunity for us to truly advance with it. So when we look at the Cube, this is something that's essentially for everyone. It's something that's sleek, simple, portable. I've taken it on more flights than I care to admit. Cartridges are reliable. I don't have to worry about spilling material, having something tangled, winded. And it's ideal for the small business. It's ideal for the consumer. And it's something that's available in over 400 Staples and Office Depot locations as of now. And what we want to do essentially is disrupt. We don't want to have a 3-month product cycle to just even get out of the prototyping phase. What used to take 3 weeks, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours. Design, concept, print, reiterate. And that's the idea. And this technology isn't just limited to plastics. We do things in true colors. So whether you're designing shoes, you have an opportunity to create 7 different batches of shoes instead of having to source parts for 3 months to figure out whether or not something will work. We do things in titanium. We do things in aluminum. We do things in sintered nylon. Over 300 parts of the F-35, all printed. And the idea is whether or not you're doing something as small as a ring or dentistry or something the size of a car dashboard, 3D printing can power that and make that possible. And that's at the industrial grade. But for us, now as consumers, scanners for $3.99 that are simple enough for anyone to use to be able to scan people and objects in seconds, print out in full color, plastics, resins, metals. And ultimately, we have the right tool for the right job. I wouldn't give you a wrench and call it a toolkit and tell you to hammer something with a wrench. Absolutely not. But every technology has its own perks, has its own benefits. And 3D Systems is committed to giving the right tool to the right job, to the right people, so that ultimately we can power the next wave of entrepreneurship. So, with that being said, just wanted to quickly say thank you to you guys for taking the time. If you have any other questions for myself, Craig, or anyone else at 3D Systems, more than welcome to ask a little bit later. By the way, thank you so much, Craig.
Right. So what we'd like to do now is walk through a little bit more about, well, you know, we talked just a second ago about the press 1 button, press 2 buttons to make a design. We've been doing that, having a blast for the last month or so, just getting used to the machines. But one of the other things that we've now started to work on is their software platform, which is called Cubify Invent. And Cubify Invent is just a little bit more of a robust 3D design software, but there are others. And so I have a quick video of the 3D Cubify Invent software, just to show you an idea of how a guy will design the king of a chess set.
Hey, Josh again from Team Cubify. Today we're going to take a look at the new Cubify Invent, and I'll show you how it's easier than ever to make your own 3D printable designs. Cubify Invent is the perfect way to turn your imagination into a 3D print. It's fast and easy design software that allows 3D artists, makers, and hobbyists to create masterpieces and print them easily on a cube. I've been wanting to make my own chess set, so today I'm going to get started on some of the pieces. I've opened a new invention, and I'm going to start by sketching in 2D, and then we'll go from there. Straight lines are a piece of cake. I just click my starting point, type in the link, and click again to place the endpoint. You'll see all these tools clearly marked at the top. Curves are simple too. Just click starting and endpoints, then adjust the radius. We made this clear and easy to use so your software doesn't get in the way of your ideas. We can easily do a spline as well with multiple points. Now we can see our king starting to take shape. We'll do a revolve in 2D sketch mode and close the sketch to create our 3D design. To make the design more sleek, I can do some quick fillets. Just select the features and enter the radius.
So I'm not going to show you the whole thing, but you can essentially see that it's to me seems somewhat simple, but people who are really used to this software, I'm sure it's very simple. And just by playing around with it, should be pretty facile and pretty easy to use. So, and we have that software as part of the 3D Innovation Lab, so when somebody comes in to use the lab, you can use that software in design and play around. Next thing is just about 5 or 6 things that you kind of need to know about this 3D Innovation Lab here. One is that, as Brian said, it's the first publicly available 3D printers in Asheville. Anybody can use it within a certain parameters of things. This is made possible by a really great sponsorship partnership with the Van Winkle Law Firm. And the only thing that you really have to pay is that the plastic filament costs money, and we just want to have a replacement cost on that. So the details of how that will work are going to be on our website, but there'll be a small usage fee for the plastic. Every Thursday, starting tomorrow from 12:30 to 1, we're going to have 3D print orientations. And we're going to require that anybody who wants to come in and use the 3D print lab will have to take a half-hour orientation. It's very simple. You can sign up online, and you'll learn some of the basic things about the machine, how to load it, how to clean it, how to take care of it, how to use the design software. And then from then, you can come in and check out the lab and use it. And we have little sheets that you can pick up and take back with you. It's just kind of an overview of what the orientation is like. And if we run out, we can either print more, or you can give us your email address and we can email it to you as well. Another thing to do is, if you're interested in this, go to Cubify.com, and there's tons of video tutorials. So just familiarize yourself with the tutorials and go and explore some of the other websites out there. Shapeways, Thingiverse, Sculptio, they all have not only tutorials and design information, but also a marketplace of free designs that you can just download, put on a thumb drive, come in here and print. One other thing to keep in mind is that 3D printing, if you think about it, it's really at the dawn of this new technology. And you think back to when laser printers first came out, everything was kind of just blossoming and coming onto its own. Small adjustments. Sometimes the glue doesn't stick properly. You've got it's almost like an art as part of the process of printing. So there will be ups and downs and tweaks and mistakes along the way, but we'll be here to help guide you through that as part of this process. Another thing that would be wise to do is to go to Cubify.com and set up a Cubify account online. It's a free account. That way, if you're ever doing anything, you can send it to yourself here, or you can leave it on your file, and then you can just open it up here and access it from here. Like I said, it's a free Cubify account. And then the other thing is to visit mojocoworking.com, options, 3D printing, and you can have a lot of information about how to sign up for an orientation, how to see what the pricing is going to be, and some of the other details associated with the thing. So when you get there, it'll look something like this. You can click and send an RSVP for one of the orientations. It's got the pricing information and various other details. So we also talked about this idea of what can you make. A lot of times you think about, oh, I'm just going to be making toys, and and then there's the really high-end things. But there's a lot of other things that artists are using 3D printing for as well. Everything from jewelry design. That you know, it's plastic with a little metal hook on it, so if you're into jewelry design, you can do jewelry. Somebody created an idea to use colored pencils, and they invented the plastic piece that holds the pencil, so they made like a fruit bowl or a bowl to set on their counter. So you can, the design ideas are really endless. There, as Doug had mentioned, the idea of printing entire buildings out of 3D printing is on the horizon. This entire dress is made out of 3D plastic. Must be uncomfortable, but it is plastic. And then, things that we've all been reading about, whether it's, the new hand or bone replacement, hip replacement, knee replacement, all being now made custom fit to your existing structure with 3D printing. And as I mentioned, these are places to go explore now. So if you've got some time, you want to dig into a little bit, go to Thingiverse, go to Cubify, go to Shapeways, and Sculptio, and these are just a few. I'm sure the word Google will enter in and just type in 3D printing and you'll find a ton more. One other thing that we've been playing around with lately, and I'm going to do a quick little demo of it, is that Cubify also has an iPad app that allows you to basically draw with your finger, right? So you can make a star, connect it, change the thickness, I don't know if you can all see that or not, and now it's a 3D star, right? So now you can fill in the gaps, and now you can make it a really, and now you can actually upload it to your Cubify account, and then you can print it out on the printer in just a few minutes. So the technology is changing so fast and it's becoming so easy that the experimentation is going to be great. And one of the things that we aim to do at Mojo is create this concept called the Mojo University, where 3D printing is one of the things that we hope to have classes, workshops for middle school and possibly all of K through 12 at some point. But we've also been working with other companies in and around Asheville who have kind of entrepreneurial or technical things to teach, and we're going to be converting one of our spaces here into a classroom and working with Black Mountain Soul, working with Tech Talent South. They're going to be doing a Ruby on Rails coding class. The Asheville Makers are going to be working, we're going to be working with the Asheville Maker Group. ModeFest in the spring is going to be doing a hackathon here. So there's just a lot of ways to integrate 3D printing and this technology and this lab into a lot of other things as part of the Mojo University. So again, on behalf of the Van Winkle Law Firm and Mojo Coworking, we thank you for coming. There's still a lot of food, there's a lot of coffee. There is printing going on right now on the CubeX Duo, and I think we'll also upload this and see if we can print this out right now on the Cube. So again, thank you for coming.